Starved Rock is about 2.5 hours-ish from Chicago, about south-southwest on I-80. It is probably one of the most popular state parks in the area because, as you may imagine, there are not a lot of hiking places around Chicago. So because of that, it is extremely popular. So one recommendation, get here very early. We got here about close to 10, probably about 9:45. 2, do not go on a weekend because obviously more people are free, so more people are going to be out. And the last is try to go in the off season. Obviously we're here in the summer, but we were camping not too far away with Kayak Morris, so we wanted to make it here real quick and just do a nice hike. Thankfully, because we are doing the longer canyon loop hike throughout the park, which lasts about 3, maybe 4 hours, depending on how much we stop, not a lot of people are on this part of the trail. A lot of families come here and see just the small parts, the big waterfall features, things like that, the lookout over actual Starved Rock, but not many people are adventuring the entire loop, especially families. Starved Rock itself was created out of glacial melt, so all these canyons that you see were created when the glaciers receded, and all the melt and runoff created these massive deep canyons. So there you go. So that was Starved Rock State Park. It was a very nice, short little day trip from Chicago. I know that we started a little bit closer in Morris, Illinois, so it was only an hour for us to get there, but this is a very easy 2-ish hour drive from Chicago, depending on traffic and depending where you're leaving from. So this trip could very easily be done in a single day, but there are some good things to know about it. The first thing to know is I did say that this was a 3 to 4 hour hike earlier in the video, but it really only took us about 2.5 hours to complete. But a few things is, one, we really didn't stop that often, maybe just for a couple video shots, to have snacks, to look out at some things, but we really didn't stop and sit and take in views constantly as we were going along. The second thing is that Sarah and I are both pretty quick hikers, not the quickest, but we're not the average speed. So if you say that a hike is going to be 3 to 4 hours long, chances are we're going to do it in about 3 hours. So if you are traveling with children, if you are traveling with people who are a little bit slower, have less mobility, or traveling in large groups where you might be stopping more often, then you might get more to that 4-hour time limit, maybe even 5, depending on how far you go and how often you're stopping. The next thing to know is that this really isn't a very technical hike. It's pretty flat comparatively to a lot of other hikes. It's a lot of just packed earth, packed dirt, and yes, packed sand. Really the hardest part, or the most elevation gain and loss that you get, is going up and down the stairs from the riverfront trail up to the bluff trail. So other than those really long steps, it's mostly just kind of flat walking as you go along. This trail is also pretty well shaded. It's mostly forested the entire time, whether you're down on the river trail or up on the bluffs, and I would advise bringing sunscreen and putting it on in any case, but for us it was both overcast and we had a lot of tree coverage, so we really didn't have to worry about being exposed to the sun for a long amount of time. So what should you bring on a hike to Starved Rock? Well, pretty much just what you're comfortable walking around in. Like I said, it's not super technical, so if you have trail runners, or honestly even just regular street shoes, you should be fine in those. I did wear my trail runners and Sarah wore her boots because she likes the support and we both like having a little more grip, so that was nice to have, especially when we were doing a little bit of climbing around. But for the most part, just comfy shoes, comfy shirts and shorts to wear, a backpack maybe with some water and snacks and things like that, and that's really all you're going to need for a trip like this. Thankfully, they do have a visitor center, and even though we were traveling during the time of COVID, it was open for basic amenities like restrooms and washrooms, but they also had some small kiosks or maybe some places where you could get food. So if you do need snacks or if you do need extra water, you can go there instead of bringing it all with you. And the last thing is, we really didn't film a lot around the overlook points because it was just really crowded. The way that we did the entire circuit is that we ended where a lot of people are starting. They're starting with the big main attractions, all the lookouts, all the vantage points, all the things like that up on the boardwalks. So because we got there when everybody else was arriving, it was just really busy, really packed, and we just kind of wanted to move through and finish with our hike. Other than that, I really hope you enjoyed this video. It was not only my first time making a video while hiking, but actually going to Starved Rock State Park. We had been to Matheson State Park before, several years back during the winter when everything was frozen over. It's only 5 more minutes down the road, so it's another really great option in that area as well. If you have any questions or thoughts, please put them in the comments below, and I want to thank you again for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, and if you find this content useful, please consider subscribing. And as always, I want to wish you all the best on your next adventure.